Everybody, welcome to my channel, Be Free Now with Maria. Today I want to talk about why do we want to fix things, right? That question that we can ask ourselves. Why do we want to fix things? We want to fix things because we want things to be better. So if we want things to be better, right, that means that we have the belief that something isn't right and we need to make it right. The thing is that in that thought process, right, there's already a problem behind the problem. In other words, this situation isn't good because it can cause this, right? So it's not just that we're worried about this, we're worried about what it can cause, right? What's behind it or what can come forward because of it. So when we're looking at something and thinking, this is going to create this kind of problem, we're going to get nervous. But the reality is that sometimes we're right and sometimes we're wrong. Sometimes it's not necessarily going to create a bigger problem or the problem that we think is going to create, but we believe it, and so then it becomes true. It doesn't matter whether it is true or not, whether it comes to fruition. Like I said, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes something else happens, not exactly what we thought would happen, but nonetheless we get this worry feeling, and then we feel like, oh my goodness, I have to do something, and then we react. Most of the times we are not really on target, and what we're doing is creating more stress for ourselves and for the situation at hand. In other words, by trying to stop something, we may say things that may be offensive, or it could make somebody else feel defensive, and all kinds of things can come from that. So when we're feeling that desire to fix something, we have to kind of pull back and process that for a minute. And that's hard to do when we're just like going on the day to day and just trying to, get by, or not really focusing on, what's behind it. You know what I mean? We're just kind of going on autopilot. But every time we go on autopilot, we end up assuming more than we need to, or more than can benefit us. In other words, we're so busy assuming and worrying that we're forgetting that we have the ability to just slow down and really question this, and not necessarily accept it as the ultimate truth, right? We can question it, we can examine it. Is it really true? Can this come from it? And if so, right, how can I help in this situation, as opposed to, let me approach it like this, which can then, blow up in our faces and make things worse, or lead to arguments that we never really intended to happen, and so forth. Or saying things that we never really meant to say, or maybe we, upon reflection think, oh, maybe that was too harsh, or that was an exaggeration, maybe I didn't need to go there, and so forth. But really what's happening is that we want to fix things, we want things to be better, and we lose our way in the process, right? But the other reason why we want to fix things is because we don't want to have problems, right? We want things to go smooth. But the reality is that things aren't always going to go smooth, and we aren't always going to be able to fix everything. But that's sometimes okay too. Some things don't need to necessarily be fixed, they just need to unfold. And there are lessons that we can learn from that process, and the people around us need to learn as well. And that when we're constantly interfering and trying to stop somebody from learning something, and because we need to fix it so badly, then we stress ourselves out, but we do them a disservice as well. Because we're not, learning what we need to learn, right? The lesson in it for us, and the lesson in it for them. And sometimes for us, it's just the awareness that I am worrying a lot, or I am trying to control a lot. I'm trying to stop things. I'm trying to fix things. And it is causing me stress, or it's causing me problems in my relationships. That's the kind of awareness that we can have when we pull back and just slow down. So, right, when we are in a situation and feel this impulse to change, right, to fix something or to change something, we can just, for that moment, just slow down and say, wow, notice how you're feeling, right? Pay attention to your body. Your body is your barometer. It's letting you know when something isn't right, isn't feeling right, when you're worried. It's telling you something at all times, and we can feel it. So we don't want to ignore that feeling that we're feeling within our bodies. We want to acknowledge that, not so much the external problem. I mean, look, there are times, right, when there's an emergency situation, we have to focus on the external. But for the most part, we really want to focus on what's happening within us, because there we're going to get more information that's going to be able to help us show up differently and not necessarily want to fix things in one way. Even if we want to add a piece or contribute something to the situation, but we want it to be from a place of awareness, not from a place of reaction, like this reactive response on automatic pilot that then leaves us open to what we don't want, which is a tense interaction or something else along those lines, right? That doesn't feel good to us. So that's something to contemplate. The other thing is, right, when we're paying attention to our body, we also want to pay attention to the thoughts we're having, right? Because if our thoughts are based on judgment and fear, we're going to lose our way. And what we want to do in that situation is see it for what it is and incorporate a new belief that's more expansive, that's more supportive. And that's, why I always like to turn to the divine, right? Because when I start to remind myself that there's this divine energy supporting me and those around me, then I feel less scared. I don't feel like, oh my God, I need to react right now. I can stop and think because I believe that this support is surrounding me and those around me. And all of a sudden, right, from here, this type of worry, things come down a bit, some more clarity can come into my consciousness. If not, I'm going to be functioning from that panic mindset and that fix-it mindset. Let me make things better without slowing down and thinking about becoming aware of what's happening and then thinking about how to approach it in a way that is less problematic for myself and for those around me. So I hope that helps. But before I end, I want to pick a word from my bag of words to see what else I'm inspired to share. Okay, let's see what we have. Oh, disgust. That's interesting. I didn't expect that word. Okay, so disgust. Disgust is something that we can feel even sometimes with ourselves, which is also opening up a door to another yucky space. When we feel disgust with ourselves about how we've showed up, like, in other words, oh man, I did it again, here I go. I said that and I didn't want to go there, or I went there again, and we start to beat ourselves up, we're going to feel disgust. So one thing that we want to do, right, is use this all of our experiences as learning opportunities, as opposed to a moment to attack ourselves or to be harsh with ourselves when we've fallen into the human trap again. It's like, it's okay, right? Where it's part of the human experience. We're going to say things and do things, but when it's all said and done, right, it's all part of the human experience. It's not about us not being good enough, never going to be good enough, or never going to be better, or this hopeless perspective about what this means about us. It means nothing in the big scheme of things, but it does mean something in the smaller realm, which is that if we look at it as there's something wrong with us, then we're going to feel really yucky and disgusting inside. But if we look at it as part of the human experience, then it doesn't really mean anything so big. It just means that, okay, I got to keep at it. I just have to keep at it so that I stop falling into the same trap, right? I know the hole is there, so let me not fall into it, and I will continue trying until I succeed. And the more we try, the better we will get at something. But we have to try and make it, a learning experience, as opposed to personalizing what it means about us and our abilities to be able to change old patterns. We have the power to change, but it is important that we are gentle with ourselves and refrain from feeling disgusted with ourselves or with anybody else, because the same way we can change, other people can change as well. Nothing is written in stone. So we want to remember that as well. Okay, so I hope that helps. Bye for now. Have a wonderful day.